Neal Battaglia, Saxstation.com. On my YouTube channel the other day, I got a comment on the alto sax fingering chart video. And on that video, someone asked me if I was playing sharp. And I thought about it. I might have been playing a little bit sharp. I wasn't quite sure. It was a couple years ago that I recorded it. I might have been a little bit sharp that day. I played all the notes from the low B flat up to high F sharp, so maybe some of the notes were sharp. I think they're probably mostly in tune, but I'm not saying that my intonation is perfect all the time. I think it's pretty good most of the time. And it's probably better on tenor than it is on alto, and also better than it is on soprano. With soprano, at first, I was pretty out of tune. And I think that's kind of typical. It's a little bit harder, I think, to play a soprano saxophone in tune compared to an alto or a tenor. And especially sometimes on the older saxophones, like this one's from 1929. It's this old Con. I like the sound of it, but it was a little bit hard to play in tune, and it's a little bit hard to play in tune consistently across the range. So overall, not the easiest saxophone to play. I'm not sure if I would recommend a vintage saxophone to a beginning player. It can be a little hard to play, and sometimes that's a little bit discouraging. But basically what happened was he was hearing my notes, and I think he was maybe playing along with me, and he was finding that he was kind of lower than I was, or maybe I was higher than he was in terms of pitch. So he kind of assumed that I was too high and he was the right level. So I basically told him that I might be sharp on a few notes, but he kind of came back to me and replied that he had been playing for 3 days. And when I saw that, I basically changed my consideration. I kind of didn't think so much that I was necessarily out of tune. I might be a little bit out of tune on some notes, but I think overall, probably what he was doing was playing flat on pretty much all of his notes. That's kind of what a lot of saxophone players do, not excluding myself. I did the same thing when I first started. I didn't really even think about tuning that much when I played my first few notes. I was trying to just get a sound, figure out where to put my fingers, how to breathe, how to articulate, and all of that. So basically, if you're a beginning saxophone player, if you've been playing a few days or a few weeks, you're probably going to be playing flat. In another video, I was basically saying that if you want to push in your mouthpiece pretty significantly, like here there's not a lot of space, that's kind of where I put it at with this horn most of the time. But if you're beginning on saxophone, if you've only been playing a few days, you might want to push it on even more. In the initial stages of playing, you're probably going to be fairly flat, and that can help a little bit. As you keep playing, it's going to actually end up mattering less where the mouthpiece is. You're going to be able to kind of adjust internally the intonation. Like I've seen Bob Franceschini play with it on the top, on the bottom. It changes kind of the color of the sound, but he can be in tune kind of with any position of the mouthpiece. So basically, if you're starting to play, you're going to be probably a little bit lower than me or than anyone who's in tune. So it's going to seem like they're sharp. And if you get used to playing kind of flat, it's going to actually maybe seem like something that's in tune seems sharp to you if you get used to that. I think that maybe happened to me when I was playing with one of my horns. Like I got used to a certain sound, which was a little bit off, and it sounded a little bit wrong when I was playing in tune. It felt a little bit different. I wouldn't say you should obsess with a tuner in the early days of playing saxophone, but it could be a good thing to maybe check out. And if you do need to kind of make an adjustment with your mouthpiece, that might be kind of helpful in getting you to play in tune a little bit faster. And if you can get used to playing in tune earlier on, I think that's a good thing. If you want to be part of the beginning saxophone players group that I put together, go to the link, answer the questions. Once you're there, you can get some feedback on your playing, talk to some other saxophone players, and ask some questions about learning how to play the saxophone. On Saxstation.com, I have lessons available via Skype. I have classes and books that I've written that you can purchase, and you can check out all the things that I post on there. I've got a few hundred videos, and I keep making them about once a week. Let me know what you think of this video. Go ahead and leave a comment, what you'd like to see in the future, what you thought of this one. Please like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow a little bit and reach more people and help them play the saxophone.